Welcome. My name is Ralph Gonzalez and this is Positive Power. Positive Power is an interactive show where you will learn a lot of unique therapies that will enrich your life, give you self-awareness, and enable you to live happy, joyous, free, and full of positive energy. Today we have a stimulating show. It's about hypnotherapy and the mind and body connection. I am going to share with you a unique therapy that dates back to the 14th century. And we have guest Joshua Margolis from Mind Over Matter Health and Fitness. So hypnotherapy and the mind over matter, it is powerful. Take pain, for example. Millions of people suffer with chronic pain on a daily basis, and they're prescribed harmful narcotics. Now, in the short term, this type of therapy may be good. However, long term, pain medication may lead to addiction and sometimes overdoses. Overdoses of pain medication outnumber overdoses than cocaine, heroin, and alcohol combined. And that is combined. It's become an epidemic. Hypnotherapy, on the other hand, is a safe and effective way to deal with pain. Hypnotherapy will not only relieve pain, but will affect all areas of your life in a positive way. So how does it work? We first must discuss the theory of the mind, which states that the mind is made up of 15% conscious mind and 85% subconscious mind. And you can see how much more powerful the subconscious mind is. Now I have a question for you. Are feelings fact? And this is from a conscious perspective. Once again, are feelings fact? No, they're not. You can feel very good, it doesn't matter. You can feel very bad, it doesn't matter. Can we control our feelings? We can control them through our thoughts. But what about powerful emotions that are repressed and live in the subconscious mind? Emotions such as anger, stress, anxiety, and depression. Having these emotions on an ongoing basis will manifest in physical pain such as headaches, backache, and neck pain, and in some cases gastrointestinal problems and hernias. If these emotions are not managed correctly, they can even lead to death. For example, stress causes high blood pressure and heart disease. So how does it work? The autonomic nervous system, which is a subsystem of the central nervous system, is responsible for controlling circulation of blood. When it is triggered, it constricts blood flow, depriving the tissues of oxygen and then causing pain. This condition is known as psychogenic physical disorder, which is basically a disorder induced by emotions. The mind-body connection, which states that emotions, powerful emotions such as anger, stress, anxiety, and depression will stimulate the brain to create physical symptoms and you have pain. But there is a solution. Through hypnotherapy, I delve deep into the subconscious mind to identify the suppressed feelings, give awareness to them and acceptance. Once we do this, we can remove the feelings. But it gets even better. I not only remove the feelings, but I replace it with a feel-good feeling, a positive feeling that will enable you to live happy, joyous, free, and full of positive energy. Now I want to discuss with you two inductions that I use. The first one is called the anesthesia glove. And this is when the client visualizes and imagines a familiar example, such as snow or ice. And then we take the hand and then we place it on the affected area, transferring the numbness of the hand to the affected area and relieving pain. The second one is called a dopamine blast. And dopamine is the endorphin that's associated with pleasure. In fact, dopamine has so consistently been tied to pleasure that it is known as the brain's pleasure chest. And the way it works is you imagine tingling electrical energy starting at the bottom of your feet, going up your legs, into your chest and belly, to your fingertips, and that's when you really feel the tingling sensation, up your arms and all the way to the top of your head. Then we concentrate the electrical tingling energy on the top of your head where the dopamine is formed. And then we let it flow down like lava flowing down a volcano to the affected area, creating a tingling electrical sensation that feels good, that devotes pleasure, and we can relieve the pain like that. Now, I want to share with you a process known as toning, which will help you with emotions and feelings. And it dates back to the 14th century. And it uses sound and vibration to evoke immediate physiological responses. And there are three sounds I want to discuss. The first one is ah, and it evokes immediate relaxation. And this is a good sound if you're feeling stressed or have anxiety. So at the count of three, I want you to do it with me. 1, 2, 3. Ah. And that evokes immediate relaxation. The second sound is E, and that relieves anger and enhances brain concentration. So at the count of three, 1, 2, 3, E. And that again relieves anger and helps with brain concentration. And the third one is a sound that we're all familiar with, and it's Om, and we use it in yoga. And this stimulates heat in the body, relieving muscle tension. So let's do it at the count of three. 1, 2, 3, Om. And there you have it. That is toning. So there's Ah, E, and Om. This will help you relieve certain feelings and evoke immediate positive physical responses. When we come back, you're going to meet guest Josh Margolis of Mind Over Matter Health and Fitness. Welcome back. I'm Ralph Gonzalez, and this is Positive Power. I'm here with our guest, Joshua Margolis from Mind Over Matter Health and Fitness. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I would love to. That's sort of really, I'm a part of Mind Over Matter. Mind Over Matter is a part of me, so we're synonymous. Essentially, about 15 years ago, we started this service, Mind Over Matter Health and Fitness, which is an in-home fitness service catering primarily to New York City. We work pretty much in the tri-state area, but most of the people that we work with are in and around New York City, Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens, Bronx. We even do a little Long Island as well. Wow. And essentially what we do is we send out fitness professionals to people's homes.
Wow.
So if they're looking for personal training, Pilates, yoga, pretty much any fitness-related discipline, we'll provide them with that instructor.
So it's not an actual physical location where the client comes to you. You actually go to the client's home.
Correct, correct.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So we have a mantra, it's not where we're located, it's where you're located.
Ah.
So since we are a pretty big team and we're pretty diverse, we're able to accommodate people who live in the outer boroughs, some people who live on Long Island and maybe in Connecticut and New Jersey. And even through the modern marvels of technology, we don't have to be there at all.
Oh, really?
You can be in California, you can be overseas, you can be pretty much anywhere as long as you have access to internet. A lot of our trainers can do a virtual workout with you, whether it's Skype or FaceTime or things like that. So.
Now, I know you cater to different types of population like geriatrics, but I was very impressed that you also cater to women who are expecting.
Right.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So one of our big demographics is the prenatal postpartum market. A lot of the people on the Mind Over Matter team, whether regardless of what their discipline, has extensive background, training, and more importantly certification in dealing with prenatal postpartum women. So a lot of times for a woman, this is really one of the most, if not the most quintessential moment of their lives.
Yes.
They now are responsible for 2 lives. They have another life inside of them, which it's really this amazing time and can be a fantastic experience if done the right way. So a lot of times what we'll do is on the beginning, if a woman becomes pregnant, we'll try to do some prenatal training with them. So we have everything that we do depending on the trimester that we work with them specifically. First trimester is not that dramatically different. The client's going to feel different, but as far as what we do as the discipline, as you get closer and closer to that date, you really have to change your approach to fitness.
Wow.
So it's about a lot of different things, but primarily having a healthy delivery, having a speedy delivery, and on the back end, having a quicker recovery process.
Wow.
So a lot of times the theory is if you take care of your body during the pregnancy, then it will be easier returning to your prenatal physical state. A lot of times getting that pre-pregnancy figure back is the driving motivation behind a lot of the clients that we work with. And that motivation level is through the roof sometimes. So you don't have to worry about motivating the postpartum client sometimes. But in the beginning, it is about being safe. It's about being smart. It's about taking care of your body, being in tune with your body. Because a lot of times the woman is going to experience certain things that she never has before. So it's really kind of, we leave it to our professionals to take into account each individual. And even though pregnancy is a common thread with many women, it's an individual experience.
Wow.
So you have to cater towards that.
I like that you said it's an individual experience, and you said that all of your, what do you refer to them, trainers?
Right. We call them sometimes our trainers or our instructors. Sometimes we refer to them as our fitness consultants, which essentially fitness trainers are consultants. They are. It's really, when you're working in a one-on-one environment with that, it's an opportunity for a person to feel comfortable. And a lot of times, because of that level of comfortability, they'll divulge information to the trainers that they might not even to their closest friends. It's almost therapeutic, a catharsis for them. So it's really fantastic to have that relationship. And so much we hear in life, it's about relationships.
Yes, no, you're right. I like the aspect that you actually go to the client's home, because there they feel safe, they feel at peace. Now, tell me about the geriatric community. I know you are a big exercise person in the community, and I just want to learn more about that.
We started doing this several years ago, where we just, for whatever reason, we got several clients that were the senior demographic, 65 and up. And it's interesting too, because the idea of seniors, it's such a broader demographic now than it's ever been. Part of the reason is people are living longer.
Yes, of course.
So 65 is not 85, 65 is not 75. So it almost became unfair that everybody was being lumped into this category. Once they hit 65, you're automatically a senior. There's different levels amongst there. So the idea is, when you hit a certain age, clearly the body starts to slow down. The things that have worked for you in the past do not work now. The things that have gotten you results in the past are not getting results now. Your body is definitely changing. So the idea of, number one, accepting this is an inevitable acceptance. This is the common thread of all of us, right? We are all aging. No matter who we are, where we're from, we have this one thing in common. So the demands on the body change. And also, too, a lot of times for some of the people in this demographic, they haven't even exercised when they were younger. So it might be they hit a certain point in their life where, look, when you're 20, exercise is somewhat optional. If you don't exercise, okay, you're not healthy, but you can certainly get through life. But when you hit a certain age, it becomes health issues if you're not exercising. So it's even more relevant and significant that they do exercise. So what we've done is we've taken every discipline that we offer and we've made a senior version of that.
Wow.
So it could be Pilates for senior, yoga for senior, flexibility training for seniors. And on top of that, our experience has shown a lot of it is, we're mind over matter, so a lot of it is mental. So we've started incorporating other disciplines, Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation, which I know we've talked about as well. The emotional, mental discipline to bookend with the physical discipline, because it is all tied together. For any of us, you can just go work out in a gym, but if you're not really intuitive to what you're doing, I think you're not going to feel the results the way you would if you're paying attention. So with the seniors, it's even more imperative to have that mental discipline as well. So what we've done is we'll work in certain senior centers, retiree groups, different organizations that are more senior heavy, and we'll come into these places and we'll offer a once-a-week program where, let's say on a Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll do a Pilates class, or we'll do a flexibility class, or we'll sometimes, we've gotten now recently into dance.
Oh, okay.
Which,
I like to dance.
Right.
I love to dance.
And everybody, for the most part, does. And here's the thing about dancing, even if you're not great at it, it's still a great workout. So we'll do Latin dance for seniors. We'll do Zumba for seniors. We'll do line dancing for seniors. hip hop dance for seniors.
Wow.
Whatever we get a request, we'll always try to design a program specific for the needs as you get older.
Wow.
So yeah.
So you just don't concentrate on the body, you actually concentrate on the psychology
Right.
of exercise,
Right.
or the mind, body, and spirit, I see.
Right.
Now, you said you use different type of modalities like yoga, dancing. Can you tell me a little bit about those?
Sure, certainly. I think, look, everyone out there, there's a discipline for everybody. Maybe some of us have not figured out what that is, but the idea of offering more of a variety, because what works for person A might not work for person B. And you want to have the option of providing all these different disciplines until somebody finds something that, number one, they can identify with, that they like. And ultimately, from a business, it's a results-driven business. You have to get results for these individuals, or else they're not going to continue to work with you. So it's finding what you like, what you enjoy, and what gets you results. Notice I didn't say what you were good at, because you don't have to be great at it. You really don't. It's funny, we're talking about dancing. Do you have to be a great dancer to dance? No, of course not. You might look silly doing it, but that's part of the experience. And also, on top of that, sometimes you might have to try a discipline 2, 3, 4, 5 times before you make a connection to it. You mentioned yoga, which is really heavy on the mind. It's a big focal discipline. I think a lot of people, maybe at a certain point in their life, maybe they're not ready for it. Maybe they're not ready for not just the commitment physically, but the commitment mentally, emotionally to a discipline. So sometimes you might have to try something, multiple times before not only do you get the hang of it, but you start to identify with it, you start to enjoy it, and ultimately you start getting results.
Wow.
Now, having a trainer with you helps, because there are those times where maybe you might lose focus or you might not want to do it, but having the accountability and responsibility of working with an individual, that can sort of bring you along on those days where maybe you just don't have it, or maybe that's a day you don't want to get out of bed, or maybe that's a day where you're not feeling physically on top of your game. That's okay. We're not robots. We're not waking up every day in like perfect disposition, mentally and physically.
Yes.
You can't. That's an impossibility. So a lot of time, finding the right discipline and finding the right trainer with that discipline can help you be successful or not. It's really making a connection. Again, the relationship that you have with the trainer. So.
Now, it's very unique what you offer in your philosophy, that it's per the individual, but not just per the individual, where they are in life, like the senior community, the 65-year-old, the women who are expecting the first trimester, the second trimester. Now, it's very interesting that you develop such a customized program. Where did this all start? Like, where was this born, this idea?
Right. You know, a lot of times I think with many successful endeavors, it's born out of failure. It's born out of trying something, maybe the same thing over and over again, not getting results, and then maybe trying different avenues and not getting results. You keep pushing forward until you find something that clicks or you connect with. So I've been training for a long time. So I think in the beginning, in the early 2000s, when I first got started as a trainer, I would work with these people one-on-one, and some of them would be successful, some of them would not. And it was like, well, why does this work for one person? Why does it not work for another? It's not the discipline. It's not just like people want to know if I go to a gym, okay, what's the best cardiovascular machine I can use for burning calories? It's not the machine, it's the person. It's not the discipline, it's the person. It's tapping into whatever's going to be successful for that person. So the idea is, when I first started, I wouldn't always have 100% success rate, and that's an impossibility as well. But over time, trying to establish certain connections, certain paths that are going to get people ultimately to where they need to be. And what I found out was, and again, from a philosophical standpoint, no one walks the same path.
Yes.
You know, and when you get to where you're going, if you're there, maybe you took a different way to get there, it does not matter. You're where you want to be. So sometimes you can actually even find your path down a wrong decision you made. and it might ultimately steer you into someplace with a little more success. So having the idea, I realized that my background's personal training. My background is not non-weight bearing exercises, which are things like push-ups, pull-ups, squats, core work, things where you don't use another piece of equipment. That's just my philosophy. But it's the idea of maybe my philosophy is not the only one out there. Maybe there's the idea that there might be something that I'm not aware of that might be successful for an individual. Maybe I can't do this all myself. So that's when I started taking on more people. That's when I started making connections. I'm like, oh, maybe, you know, a kettlebell discipline is a great workout, or maybe, you know, a hot yoga is a great workout. Maybe things that I didn't necessarily believe in or know enough to believe in warrant my attention. So it was the idea of, I don't know and I don't have all the answers. I need to bring on more people with alternative disciplines, and maybe I can find more answers.
Wow.
You know, the old adage, two heads are better than one. So having the access to these fitness professionals and their minds, and sometimes just brainstorming with them of, oh, what do you think would work in this instance? Or what do you think is a good discipline for this person? Or this person that has failed before on this, what are we missing? So it's just bringing in all these other minds for the idea of getting a solution to individuals' issues.
A total training community. I like that.
It is.
You know, you said something that you don't really use weights, and I've known that weights create joint pain. That's to be a pretty big problem. So basically, the exercise too is your own body.
Right.
Wow.
That's a lot, and weights definitely have their place. And a lot of times, like I said, it's not necessarily the discipline, it's how that person is doing it. For instance, I'm at gyms, you know, during the week, and I look around and I do my best to bite my tongue and not comment on what certain people are doing. And it's difficult not to. Because that person in the gym, look, they're already motivated because they're there. You know, they already have certain sets of accountability to themselves because they're there. And they're spending the time, effort, and energy, but they're doing the wrong thing. So it's frustrating to sometimes see that. All these disciplines have advantages to them when done correctly. So there's the old adage again, practice makes perfect. It's perfect practice makes perfect. You don't want to just show up and just, you know, start throwing the weights around. You want to do it.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Wow.
So try to do things the right way. And a lot of what my philosophy is with the non-weight bearing exercises, I like them because, especially here in New York City, we're dealing with a really transit population. People are going this way for work, that way for family vacation, this vacation. So they're never in the same place for an extended amount of time. So how do they take that workout with them? The excuse of I don't have a gym is gone, because you can do this in your hotel room, you could do it wherever you have space. So the idea of, well, I didn't have access to a weight, that's an excuse. That's not really a practical application. You can do these things anywhere. You know, in our house, I have, you know, several pieces of fitness equipment. One is a bar that hangs up. One is a stability ball, inflated ball. And then I have 2 hand weights. And I can do a creative, result-driven workout from that exclusively. So it's a matter of being creative. And a lot of times we rely on the trainer's creativity for that. Because the other side of it is, if you do the same thing over and over again, you're not going to get the same results.
Wow.
And the definition of insanity is what? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting,
right? Results.
So, you know, it speaks to that as well.
Wow. So there's no more excuse. I cannot go to the gym because I don't have any time.
Right.
What would you say now will be the greatest obstacle for people to exercise in general?
Right. I think you just hit it on the head. I think it's time.
It's time, but you're already addressing that, so there's no more obstacles.
Yeah, the 2 biggest things I think when it comes to fitness, and I think this is probably, you can apply this to life, time and money, right? Those are the 2 things we hear. They're both important. Look, finances are important. It's important. We all need to make a living to survive. But what I always say is I can make more money. I can't make more time. Time is the most valuable commodity. So time and health, those are the 2 biggest things.
Wow. Now, What type of area do you serve? I know you serve New York City,
Right.
and that includes the 5 boroughs.
The 5 boroughs, and what we try to focus on is anybody who is within our demographic as far as location. We can do an in-home visit. If not, then we are here virtually, which is sort of the direction the world is going into anyway.
Well, now, how do people
Already
get in
there.
contact with you?
Right, so that's the big thing. The best bet is our website, which is mindovermatternyc.com.
Okay.
They could always contact us through there. If they want to email us, it's info@mindovermatternyc.com. And people who still use a phone, which who'd have thought, verbally communicating with somebody, speaking on the phone, we're 212-865-9290. People can Google Mind Over Matter as well. We are the first thing that pops out.
Wow, well, thank you so much,
My
Joshua,
pleasure.
for being here, and I wish you much success in helping everybody get in shape. Thank you again.
My pleasure, Ralph. Thank you for having me.
I'm Ralph Gonzalez, and this is Positive Power. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful day.